Okay, this video is, does air freshener cause brain damage? And the answer is yes, it does. Okay, and most people don't know that. In my experience, it's mostly women that are really clueless about chemicals and they use really toxic chemicals without any awareness. But I've also seen lots of guys really clueless about chemicals. You know, I know especially like these construction worker, maintenance guys, they think these chemicals are no big deal. I'm like, dude, that's a major brain toxin. And they sit there totally oblivious to it. I've seen technologists working with toxic chemicals. They don't even open the door. Always ventilate the room when you work with toxic chemicals, okay? All right, so anyways, air fresheners cause brain damage. I had a relative who couldn't understand why they had such bad asthma, and I visited them. And they were burning all these candles and incense. I said, get rid of all this crap. And they're like, oh no, I love my incense, my candles. And I had a big argument with them, and I talked to their spouse, and they got rid of them, and their asthma got better. Gee, big mystery, huh? Okay. I've had other relatives, like male relatives, who will have a new car, and my cousin, he's sitting there inhaling the smell off of the new car, you know, the seats. And I'm like, why are you doing that? Are you sick in the head? And he's like, no, it smells like a woman. It smells like a woman. I go, you're sick in the head? I thought he was just kind of crazy. Later on, I realized there's lots of plastic chemicals that are estrogenic, like these phthalates and stuff. And they do smell a little bit like a woman. So, but that's not good for you, okay? So anyways, air fresheners are highly toxic. And I know you think I'm exaggerating, so I'm going to show you some papers. Ventricular fibrillation after just one inhalation of an air freshener. She accidentally had it close to her nose and was sprayed, and she went into a sudden ventricular fibrillation. That's an abnormal heart rhythm. And she basically died. She had to be defibrillated, cardiopulmonary resuscitation. They got the paramedics with the shock machine. They shocked her, and she came back to life. But she basically would have died, and who knows if she's got brain damage or not from that, okay? So these things are real toxic. These are just examples of some of the chemicals in these things. Chloromethane, known neurotoxin. Toluene, a known neurotoxin, burns holes in the brain. Terpene, which makes hydroxyl radicals, a very aggressive reactive oxygen species, free radical, major toxin, okay? Naphthalene, like in mothballs. Insecticides, herbicides, bunch of carcinogens, formaldehyde, dioxanes, benzenes, variations on benzene, ethylbenzene, pyrodichlorobenzene, okay? This is major toxic stuff. Butane, major freaking cardiac toxin, causes people to die. Okay, this is in the air fresheners. And all these stupid people think, oh, somebody farted, spray an air freshener. No, you moron. You don't want to, you should not buy these things. They have volatile organic compounds, chemicals with high vapor pressure at room temperature, and they have a strong association with causing autoimmune disease like lupus, for example. You know, acetone. It's a paint thinner. It's also a nail polish remover. These are major toxic chemicals, okay? Okay, now you'll say, oh, well, that's just one. Oh, no. We're just getting started here. Oops. Okay, here it is. Ventricular fibrillation following inhalation of air freshener, okay? Another patient having a heart attack due to an air freshener. That's not good. Here's another patient. This is a 16-year-old girl. She inhaled an air freshener and she died. All right, and here is liver toxicity due to air fresheners. Okay, it was in mice, but it found out it was causing liver toxicity. It was also causing insulin resistance, which means causing diabetes and worsening of fatty liver. Fatty liver is really like diabetes of the liver. Okay, so it's toxic to your liver. It's toxic to your heart. It's toxic to your lungs. It's toxic to your brain. Okay, is there air freshener syndrome? 32 cases, 32, that's a lot of cases, okay, where the patients had a cluster of neuropsychological symptoms related to air fresheners, where they had headaches, nausea, sort of a lassitude, you know, brain fog, confusion, difficulty walking, ataxia, tremors. Okay, that's a big deal because these things contain neurotoxins. Should never use air fresheners. If you have any, you should get rid of them. Okay, toxic effects of air fresheners. Okay, they noted chemicals with known irritant and neurotoxic properties. Neurotoxin means they cause brain damage. Air fresheners cause brain damage. Thank you. And they noticed after inhaling these air fresheners for 1 hour, the mice displayed abnormal behavior as well as they had pulmonary problems and other difficulties. They cause brain damage. That's a big deal. That's bad. Okay, here is characterization of air freshener emissions, the potential health effects. They release volatile organic chemicals. So right away you're thinking autoimmune disease with that, pulmonary toxicity, possible asthma exacerbation. Okay, they cause dysfunction of the lungs. They also contain formaldehyde. They cause damage to the central nervous system with severe adverse effects of diverse organ systems, including pulmonary and cardiovascular system. Okay, and they also they contain benzene, which is major carcinogen, phthalates, estrogenic, neurotoxic, limonene, an insecticide and herbicide. Okay, these things are poisons. You don't want to be using them, okay? Again, toluene, major neurotoxin, benzene, major carcinogen, volatile organic chemicals producing autoimmune disease. Okay, this stuff is bad. You don't ever want to use air fresheners, okay? They're for stupid morons.